sometimes you have to ask questions you know
it's
the
like
answers
it's like the conference call on Wednesday. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Boy, I'm great. Got canned Sunday. That's really good.
You got to give Will Muschamp credit for taking the high road, maintaining a sense of humor amidst his firing at Florida. Bonnie Bernstein in our Campus Insider studios. Pleased to be joined by one of Florida's greatest all-time running backs, College Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, Muschamp, 27-20 in his 4 seasons. When you reflect back on his time with the Gators, what do you think held him and the team back from meeting expectations?
I would have to say it has to be the offense. I think our offensive scheme has not been as productive as we would like for it to be. We've been very, very inefficient in the passing game, been pretty solid somewhat in the running game. And I think in the SEC, you got to be able to throw the football as well as run the football. And I think we've been very inconsistent in both of those areas.
Emmitt, there has been so much speculation about the next guy. It could be Steve Spurrier, Lane Kiffin, Dan Mullen, Brian Kelly, Chip Kelly. I mean, the names are all over the map. If you were Florida's athletic director, Jeremy Foley, who would your next coach be?
Well, I think the University of Florida has to ask itself what type of identity they want to start to establish. Outside of looking at Alabama, you know, you obviously can't get the head coach because he's too expensive there. But then, I mean, LSU is not happy with their head coach. So I would find a guy or a group that has the ability to give us that balance, but not only that, but educate our quarterbacks and be able to recruit. It's kind of hard for me to say.
I'm reading between the lines. I think you like Les Miles. I think that's what you're saying.
Charlie Strong, my pick is Charlie Strong, but he's out in Texas right now. He would be a great head coach for the University of Florida because, one, he can help raise dollars. Two, he can go out and recruit some of the toughest kids in some of the urban areas where Lane Kiffin and others might not be able to go. So Charlie Strong would have been the right ideal pick. But since we cannot get him, I don't know who to go get.
All right, you had expressed some frustration about the play of Jeff Driscoll during the Alabama game. Now Treon Harris is the guy. How do you feel about him behind center?
Well, we still have the same problem because Treon is a young quarterback and has a lot to learn. Let's look at it. He's only throwing the ball 10, 12 times a game, and that's not enough. You have to run the football, yes, but can you run the ball 80% of the time and throw the ball 20% of the time? I don't think so. You could throw it 60% of the time and run it 40% of the time, or run it 60% of the time and throw it 40% of the time. But you want to be somewhere in that range.
It is Florida State week. Give me your prediction about whether the Gators can knock off the last unbeaten in the Power 5.
The one thing I like about games like this, Bonnie, to be honest with you, it is a state rivalry game. And with that said, anything is possible. So don't rule my Gators out because they're going to come out and play very spirited football. Now, if that spirited football is at a level which I would hope for it to be, where we're creating turnovers, creating opportunities for our offense, and we're controlling the clock and not giving Jameis Winston a chance to get on the football field, then we might have a chance of winning. If we go out and we lay an egg and don't convert on third downs and don't get enough first downs and turn the football over, we might see it's a possibility we could get blown out of the stadium.
College and Pro Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith. Emmitt, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Bonnie.